What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LCX today. Yes, LCX exchange token. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 20th day of August, and here we are, up about 1.6% on the day. We had a little bit more growth than that earlier today, but have come back down. Yesterday, you pumped 18%. We're starting to see a lot of these altcoins come to life after Bitcoin found its low. You know, a little something that's interesting to note is that Bitcoin found its low today, technically. LCX found its low back in June, right? It's kind of had a nice long downtrend consolidation phase, and it has rounded out its bottom. That's actually a really good sign of accumulation. There's probably been a lot of accumulation taking place here. Check out LCX Exchange, you guys. Check it out. Look into it. Do your research. Not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. I know a lot of people talk crap about exchange tokens, and I don't think every exchange. I don't want to say every exchange doesn't need a token. I think having an exchange token makes sense for every exchange, even for dexes, right? But cheaper fees contribute to the ecosystem, all that. I get it, but not every exchange token is going to do well. But this one, what separates this one from maybe some of them is that it's got such a low market cap, right? And I think that it's an up and comer, and it's in a part of the world where it can really establish itself as kind of like the main hub for crypto. 142, and maybe not like the main hub as in like Binance. Binance is the biggest exchange. I don't think LCX is going to overtake Binance or Coinbase, or it might not even overtake KuCoin. But just it could set itself up to be one of the biggest exchanges in the UK, in the EU, in Europe there, especially in the UK. But I'm getting beside myself talking about fundamentals. I want to talk about the technicals. Let's look at the technicals. Whoa, getting choked up here. Looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, you can see that we're consolidating in an upward sloping fashion, right? You've had a nice little pump, and now you're consolidating to the upside. LCX is definitely volatile, but I don't expect us to come all the way back down. Maybe you come down to the base of this range, you form, instead of what it looks like an upward sloping consolidation, maybe it turns out to be some kind of horizontal channel, something like that, with a little blemish up here. So the lowest that I'd give you is probably down to about 13.6 cents. You're at 15 cents now, so nothing too dramatic, right? If you are to go lower, let's look at the indicators, see what they're saying. The 1 hour RSI is bullish as hell. The stochastics would imply that we go lower, and so would the MACD. So one looks bullish, the other two allow for, and they all allow for you to go lower, but the other two are suggesting that we go lower. I wouldn't be surprised if we went down to 13.6 cents. If we take a low here to a high there, the 382 is at about 14.6 cents. If not 13.6, then at least 14.5 cents. That's what I would think we do. Some kind of higher low, if not a double bottom or like low within this range. And even if you go a little bit lower than that, who cares? You go to 13.5 cents. That's the golden ratio there at the lowest, right? Still finding support at prior resistance and just below prior support there. But overall, looking very bullish. So even with a little bit of turbulence on the way, you're still going to grow. And if I'm wrong, I would think that you, instead of coming down, if I'm wrong, you're just going to move up from here, right? You could be in a very bullish thing. LCX is kind of hard to read at times, I've come to find. But you look at it here, you kind of have this upward sloping consolidation phase here. Once you broke out of it, inevitably you went down to find support right here at the low, even went a little bit below there before moving higher, and then inevitably moving lower, of course, but just that kind of idea there. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the 4 hour, the RSI is very bullish. We do have some bearish divergence forming, and that's okay. It's actually formed, but it's not extreme. It wouldn't call for too big of a move down, right? In fact, we're very close to meeting the requirements of what the move down would be. The stochastics look like they're rejecting the overbought zone. That's not necessarily encouraging, so that could, again, promote that idea that we go down to like 13.5 cents or so. But the MACD looks pretty damn good. This is saying that we're just getting started with this move up, and that's kind of what I'm expecting here. Looking at this on a daily time frame, again, the rounded bottom, the frying pan saucer pattern. This is a very dead giveaway that there is some accumulation going on. Absolutely there is. Distribution selling off and met by some kind of buying pressure, man. And I really wouldn't be surprised. The EU, or is it the EU or just the UK specifically? I'm not 100% sure. I don't keep up with my European politics. But I'm pretty sure, I think it's the UK, has cracked down on crypto with the regulations, right? And as far as regulations go, LCX is following their regulatory protocols to the book. So I think that while that might be bearish from maybe a worldwide or a market perspective, especially for for people over there. I think that's bullish for LCX because they're completely compliant, and that's their whole goal, is to be the most compliant and established exchange in that part of the world. So, and it's moving up here, so something's going on. I think that they're doing the right things by them and by their project. If we're looking at this here from a high to a low, is that the all-time high? It is. It's from the all-time high at 58 cents to the bear market low here, yeah, all the way down at about 3 cents, just below there. We have consolidated between the 886 and the 382, very volatile, very normal actually kind of behavior. And typically what you would see after this is that once you get above the golden ratio here at about 18.7 cents, that will validate this as a low, and then you should be really seeing this thing start to take off. I think we're going to run, I mean, you're at 15 cents now. We're going to see this thing go to $1.30 to $3.65. And with this low of a market cap, $142 million, you really could stop at any of these targets, anything in between as well. The minimum target is about an 8x from here. Maximum target is a 24x from here. I wouldn't be surprised if you hit either of those, honestly. And this is crypto. You never know when you get those crazy pumps, man. It might seem ridiculous, but this thing could definitely 50x. And I mean, I would expect that it does that by the end of the cycle, maybe not by the end of this next move. What do I mean by next move? I mean, this was a move here, that was a move there, right? What's the next move? You can see that it's been a second since we've had a move up. We're about to get one now, okay? What I can say is I would expect it to be more like this move than like this move or this move here, right? It's kind of like we're alternating, isn't it? Big move, little move. Big move, little move. Whose turn is it? I think it's the big move's turn. We'll probably see. Let's just compare this real quick, just for fun. Nope. I'm trying to get the info line. We take a low to the high of the move itself, maybe not the absolute low, but just that. If we were to put it here, let's say that we're starting right there, not the absolute low, but just where the move started, that could take us up to like $2.71. We saw a move like that. That was our cycle ending finale, which I don't think that we're quite there yet. This move was more like this. I'm not going to measure the whole thing because that last little bit I don't think was the main part of this move here. Just like I'm not going to take the absolute low. I'm just going to take the low from where the move began. That wouldn't even get us there. So we're going to see a very powerful move. Yeah, one of the more powerful moves that LCX has ever seen. I wouldn't be surprised if we're at $1.30 to $3.65. Fantastic growth in a very short amount of time. Probably by the end of September, with the way this thing likes to grow. If not by the end of September, then sometime in October. Okay, but fantastic. Love to see it. Weekly stochastics, RSI, and the MACD, they're all turning bullish. Really, this is the only one that looks kind of weak right now, but it is flipping bullish, which is nice to see. These other two look primed and ready to go, man. The RSI is very fantastic here. Let's look at the ribbons real quick, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up, okay? Oh, yeah. Breaking above the ribbons there. You're in a bearish trend. Don't get me wrong, you're in a bearish trend here, but you look like you want to flip above there. That's nice to see. Coming down a little bit as I'm saying that, a little volatility there. Daily ribbon just flipped green. You actually bounced off it. That's a very bullish look right there, you guys, in the 3-day time frame. Also looking like you want to flip. All good things, man. Looking really, really good. I don't think you have enough on the monthly. Oh, you do. Good. Yeah, hey, it's time to move up. Typically, whenever you dance around the ribbon like this, you're not just finding direct support off of it. You will find support below it, and you've done that already. So time to move up, man. That's what I'm seeing. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Man, we might have to cover LCX more often because this thing genuinely has potential to outperform some of the top performers that I'm anticipating over the next couple of weeks. I know it's been disappointing for a while, but it's because it's been so disappointing and it went so low, even after this pump that it's had. You got a lot of potential here, man. You got a lot, there's over 20x potential in this thing. And all you got to do is buy and hold. That's all you got to do. All right, take care. Bye-bye.